Hello, students. Welcome back. So today we are going to be starting a very new chapter, that is chapter 15, networking concepts. So before we start, let us see what are the objectives of this particular chapter. That is, by the time we complete this chapter, what are the things we will be learning, or what is the main agenda of learning this particular chapter. All right. So the very first thing is to understand uses of networking. We are going to be learning. So if at all we are learning about the networking concepts, what are the uses of that is what we are going to understand first. Then we will see various types of the networking. Then we will try to understand the various devices used in the networking, applications used for networking, and how and methods of the networking security. Networking security, how does it work? So these are the things which we will be covering. Basically, these are the things we will be learning, if I can say. That is the reason I will say that this is the objectives of this particular chapter. So these are the things you will be knowing once we are going to complete this particular lesson. So before we get on to the very first topic, let us see what are the topics which we will be covering in this entire chapter. So very first thing is we will start with the introduction, which we will do in this session. Introduction involves just understanding what exactly is a network. Why do we need to use the network? What are the goals of a network? What is the need for network? All those things is what we're going to cover when it comes to the introduction. Then we will see the different reference models. So here we are going to see the models which we are going to be using when it comes to the networking. It could be your OSI model. It could be your TCP/IP model. Then we will learn about different protocols. So what are the protocols? What is protocol and what are the different types of a protocol, where they are used, what is the purpose of them, all those things. Then we will see types of servers and networks. All right, so different kinds of servers and different kinds of networks. We will be learning their advantages as well as disadvantages. We will see the topologies, how we are going to arrange a particular network, in what kind of a different topologies, and why to have so many kind of a topologies, which is suitable for us. All those things we will learn when it comes to the topologies. We will also see transmission medium. If at all we have a network, then of course there has to be a medium through which we are sending out the data, receiving the data. So what are the different kinds of transmission mediums is what we are going to learn. Switching techniques, how we are going to do the switching in a networking is nothing but switching techniques. We will learn them. Communication modes in the network devices. So if at all there is a network, there has to be n number of devices which are connected in a network. What are those? What is their advantage? What is their purpose? All those things we will be covering. Then we will see briefly about 1G, 2G, 4G, and 5G networks. What is the meaning of each one of them? We will see briefly. After that, we are going to also see applications in networking. What are the different applications? We will learn them once again briefly. Also, at the end, we will see the network security. So all these topics are going to be covered in your chapter 15, and we will go one by one. All right. So this is about your syllabus when it comes to the networking. So by now that we are clear about how we are going to complete this chapter, let us start with the introduction. So what is a network? So we all are aware around us, we will see a different kinds of networks like, isn't it? So what is a network? A network is an interconnection of autonomous computers. Now, here we are talking about computer network, hence I'm talking about autonomous computer. We all know the meaning of the word autonomous and individual computers. When we interconnect them, that becomes a network. Okay. Two computers are said to be interconnected if they are capable of exchanging the information. Okay. So if you're able to send a message from your phone to your friend's phone, then you both of your phones are connected and it is a network. All right. As you can see, one example here, we have a PCs connected with each other. Now, this kind of a situation you might be seeing in your college lab or in an organization. Laptops, PCs, smartphones, they all connect. There need not be network, not necessary has to have a wired connection. It can be wireless connection also. All right. So most of the connections nowadays, what we see are all wireless connections. As you can see, we have a desktop here, which is connected to printer, scanner, etc. Okay, so this is all network. That is why we say that network is an interconnection of autonomous computers. Now, computers can be your anything which has a connection to a network, not necessarily a desktop. It can be a laptop, it can be a smartphone, it can be any phone which has an internet connection, it can be a scanner, printer, joystick, everything. All right. Okay, so I hope what is network is clear. Now, why are we learning about network? What is the goal of a network? First thing, the purpose of having a network is, very first thing is resource sharing. Now, what do you mean by resource sharing? Here, we can make all the programs, data, and peripherals available to anyone on the network, irrespective of the physical location of the resource and the user, which mean to say, suppose Google server is somewhere lying in some country and I am sitting in one country. With that help of that, if I want to access something, I can access their repository of data and get the information. Okay, so resource sharing, these resources can be of different type. It can be a data, it can be a software, it can be anything. All right, so the very first goal of network is resource sharing. Next thing is reliability. What is reliability? Something which we can depend upon. Whenever I have a network, whenever I have a two system connected, all right, suppose this system fails. In that case, I always have another system through which I can have a backup with which I can access. Suppose there is another person who is accessing both the system and both the system, this is the first system and this one is the one which has a backup, then in that case, I can always rely on this network. With the help of this network, I can have a reliability. For example, if I can have a copies on 2 or 3 different machines, so if one of them unavailable, the other copies could be used. All right. Next thing is cost factor. Once again, since we spoke about resource sharing, cost factor is nothing but we can reduce the costs. Okay, personal computers have better price performance ratio than the microcomputer. So it is better to have pieces, one per user with the data stored on one shared file server machine. So in organizations, instead of I'm having single systems which needs more data as in it needs more memory. Instead of that, what I can have is I can have a shared server. Suppose this is a server, I can have a shared server. Many people can share this server, and by doing that, I can reduce the cost. So cost factor and communication medium, of course. We will be able to, with the help of a network, we will be able to communicate with each other. These are the goals of the network. I hope these points are clear to you. Next, we will see what is the need. Why do we need networking? Once again, file sharing. By doing that, it provides sharing and grouping of data files over the network. Of course, in today's world, we all share data with each other. We download the data. Information is available in our fingertips. Now, this is possible because of the networking and file sharing. Okay. Print sharing of computer resources such as hard disks and printers, etc. So if at all I'm having a printer in an organization, I need not have a printer per PC, isn't it? If I have one printer in an organization, I can connect all the system with the help of that. I'll be able to take a print. So this is possible because of networking. Email tools for communication with email address. Of course, because we have networking, we are able to communicate with each other with the help of emails, in the form of messages, in the form of different ways. It is only possible because of networking. If not networking, then your mobile, your desktop, everything will be individually operating. They will not be communicating with each other without networking. Remember this. The remote access able to access the data and information around the globe. That is what I said. Suppose Google repository is in US. You are trying to access that sitting in India. It is only possible because of networking. Now, this networking, once again, like I told you, can be wired or wireless. All right. Sharing database to multiple users at the same time by ensuring the integrity. So databases can also be shared like a server. I have multiple systems. I have connected with the networking concept and I'm able to share. Okay. And managers can access in a different level. Employees can access at a different level. All this is possible only because of the networking. Okay, so this is about introduction to networking. We have seen what is networking, what is the goal of networking, and why do we need networking. Now that it is clear, next in the coming sessions, we will learn how it works, what are the layers involved in networking, how each layer works, all those things will be covered in the coming sessions. Okay, so that's all in today's session, students. Hope these videos are helping in your preparations. So thank you for watching. Keep learning.